You don't feel it when it happens. There's no dramatic pause, no music in the background. Just a quiet moment when you realize you're thinking differently. Because the choice to carry a handgun isn't really about gear. It's about who you're deciding to be. It doesn't make you stronger, or safer, or better. It makes you accountable. You start noticing exits, watching hands. You sit with your back to the wall. You feel the weight, not just on your hip, but in your mind. That's the part no one tells you, the mental shift, the responsibility. And it's not for everyone. If you want to feel powerful, this isn't for you. If you want to show off, this isn't for you. If you think a handgun makes you untouchable, turn around. Carrying doesn't erase fear, it magnifies consequence. One wrong move, one misjudged threat, and your whole life changes. So ask yourself, why are you doing this? Because when you carry, you don't get to lose your temper. You don't get to be careless. You don't get to make mistakes without someone paying for it. You're not becoming the hero, you're becoming the last option. And that takes more than confidence. It takes restraint, training, judgment. But if you're still listening, if this feels like something you're ready for, not just excited by, good. Because this isn't a game. It's not just hardware, it's a commitment. The most important tool you carry isn't the gun, it's the mindset. Everything that follows, the gear, the tactics, the draw, means nothing if you don't understand this first. You carry not because you want to use it. You carry because you hope you never have to. The first thing people ask is, what's the best gun to carry? But that's the wrong question. Because the truth is, there is no best gun. There's only the best gun for you. It's like shoes. You wouldn't wear steel-toe boots to run a marathon. Same with carry guns. What fits someone else might wreck your comfort, your draw, or your confidence. Let's start simple. Size matters. Too small and you sacrifice grip, control, and round count. Too big and it prints through your shirt or digs into your ribs by lunchtime. Subcompacts and compacts are the usual go-tos. They disappear under clothing, carry light, and give you enough control for real-world situations. But don't obsess over barrel length or magazine capacity just yet. Pick something you can shoot well. Because if it's painful, awkward, or jumpy in your hands, you won't train with it. And if you don't train, you're just carrying false confidence. Next, caliber. Everyone's got opinions. 9mm is the most common, and for good reason. Manageable recoil, high capacity, proven effectiveness with the right ammunition. You'll hear debates about 40, 45, 380, ignore the noise. The best caliber is the one you can place accurately, under pressure. Now, reliability. This isn't a hobby gun. This is a tool you might bet your life on. So pick a reputable brand. Glock, SIG, Smith & Wesson, Springfield, and others make excellent carry options. Don't fall for gimmicks. Don't chase looks. And finally, try it before you buy it. If your local range rents guns, test a few. Feel the grip, work the slide, see how it draws from a holster. Because what fits in a display case might not fit your hand or your life. This isn't about firepower. It's about finding a tool that disappears until the moment it's needed and performs without hesitation when it is. You've got the right handgun. Now comes the next challenge, hiding it in plain sight. Because real concealed carry isn't about trench coats or oversized jackets. It's about subtlety, intentional choices, and understanding that your wardrobe just became tactical. Let's start with the word nobody wants to hear, printing. That's when the outline of your gun shows through your shirt. It's not illegal in most places, but it defeats the point of concealed carry. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. So what do? You dress for the gun, not the other way around. Dark colors, patterns, layers. These break up outlines and minimize shadows. Longer shirts, slightly looser fits. They keep the silhouette clean. Stiff belts. These support the weight of your holster and stop sagging or shifting. You don't have to change your whole look. You just have to think differently. Standing still in front of a mirror is easy. But can you bend down at the grocery store without flashing steel? Can you hug a friend without them noticing something hard under your arm? Can you run, sit, or drive without your holster digging or shifting? That's the test. And speaking of holsters, don't go cheap. A good holster does three things: covers the trigger, no exceptions, holds the gun firmly, no wiggling, no shifting, stays put. Whether you're running, sitting, or jumping a fence. Appendix carry, strong side, small of back. Each has pros and cons, and we'll get there soon. But for now, remember this. Carrying is about blending in, moving like you always do, while always being ready. Because if someone can spot your gun before you draw it, you've already lost the element of surprise. You'll hear this phrase a lot. You don't rise to the occasion, you fall to your level of training. And when it comes to concealed carry, no skill matters more than the draw. Because in a real-world moment, you won't get time to think. Just a flash of instinct. And if your hands fumble, the moment's already gone. Let's get one thing straight. Speed is nothing without control. It doesn't matter how fast you move if your grip is wrong, your finger slips, or your shirt snags. So we start with position. Appendix carry, AIWB, puts the firearm up front, easy to reach, fast to draw, but demands good holster discipline and extra awareness. Strong side hip is classic and comfortable, especially for beginners. Inside the waistband, IWB, keeps things hidden. Outside the waistband, OWB, is easier to access but harder to conceal. Whatever you choose, practice like your life depends on it, because one day it might. Here's the drill. Clear the garment, sweep the shirt, lift the hoodie, grip with intention, high, tight, and firm. Draw straight up, no fishing hooks, no flares. Rotate forward, elbow down, muzzle level. Press out, align sights, finger to trigger. Now reverse it, because reholstering is where accidents happen. Don't rush it. Don't look away from your surroundings. And never ever force it if something feels off. Dry fire practice with a triple-checked empty gun is where muscle memory is built. One smooth draw 1,000 times until it becomes second nature. Because in a critical moment, you don't want to try to draw. You want to do it without thinking. Silent, precise, unshakable. Because in that split second when everything turns, you don't need flair, you need function. The most powerful weapon you carry isn't the one on your hip, it's the one between your ears. Because long before you ever reach for your firearm, your awareness is already at work. And if it isn't, then you're reacting too late. Situational awareness isn't paranoia, it's presence. It's noticing exits when you walk into a room. It's recognizing tension in a stranger's voice. It's picking up on what doesn't belong without staring or panicking. Think of it like a radar, low frequency, always on. The guy pacing near the gas station entrance, the car that's been following you for 3 blocks, the couple arguing too loudly near your table. You don't act on every alert, but you log them. You stay ahead of the curve, because awareness buys time, and time buys options. Here's the truth. Most problems can be avoided by simply seeing them coming. If your hand is already on the door handle before the shouting starts, if you cross the street before the sketchy group notices you, if you de-escalate with calm words instead of proud ones, you win. Because carrying a gun doesn't mean you're looking for a fight. It means you've trained yourself to avoid one whenever possible. But if that option disappears, if the threat closes in, if distance vanishes, if danger leaves no other door open, then and only then do you fall back on the tool you've trained with. And when you do, your awareness will have already told you where to stand, where to move, and where the people you care about are standing. You don't need to be a ninja. You don't need to clear rooms with hand signals. You just need to be the person who sees things a moment sooner than everyone else. Because in that moment, everything changes. Let's be honest, your permit class isn't enough. Firing a few rounds at a paper target, checking a box, and walking away with a license, that's not training, that's permission. But carrying a firearm in the real world means being ready for the worst day of your life, on your feet, in motion, heart pounding, maybe with someone screaming behind you. And that kind of readiness doesn't come from reading, it comes from reps. Let's start with the most powerful tool no one talks about: dry fire. Unload your firearm, triple check it, then practice at home. Grip, draw, sight alignment, trigger press, all without a single bullet. 10 minutes a day builds more skill than a single afternoon at the range, because here's the truth. When your heart rate spikes, you won't rise to your best shot. You'll fall to what's built into your hands, so build well. Add in live fire when you can. Start slow. Aim for consistency, not speed. Train reloads, malfunction clears, movement, one-handed use. Make your weaknesses uncomfortable, then fix them. But here's the mindset shift. You're not training to shoot better. You're training to decide faster. Can you identify a threat under pressure? Can you draw cleanly while backing up? Can you fire with precision, not panic? Because this isn't the range. You don't get a reset button. And you owe it to everyone around you, family, strangers, yourself, to only draw when you're fully capable of finishing what you started. Cleanly, legally, and ethically. No one will ever see the work you put in. But if the moment ever comes, you'll feel it. Because in that flash of chaos, your mind won't scream. It'll move, calm, certain, trained. It's easy to strap on a gun in the mirror. Standing still, you feel ready. You feel equipped. But then the day begins. And now you're sitting, driving, hugging, bending, sweating. That's when you learn the difference between owning a firearm and living with one. Because everyday carry isn't just about tactics, it's about comfort. And finding that balance is harder than it looks. Too tight and you're constantly adjusting. Too loose and the holster shifts. Wear the wrong shirt, you print. Wear the wrong pants, the belt sags. Forget your belt altogether, game over. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Carrying a firearm isn't always comfortable, but it should never be miserable. If you dread wearing it, you'll stop. If you stop, you're not ready when it matters. So how do you get it right? Start by investing in your holster and belt. This duo is everything. A good holster should keep the trigger fully covered, lock the gun in place, let you draw and reholster safely, feel stable, even when you move, run, or twist. A good belt should be stiff enough to support the weight, not fold or sag under pressure. Blend into your everyday wardrobe. Test your setup at home before you go public. Sit on the couch, get in your car, do chores, reach overhead, hug someone. Does anything shift, dig, or flash? Fix it. This is how carrying becomes second nature. You stop thinking about the gear and start trusting it. Because when your setup works, it disappears. Not in a magical way, but in a "this just fits my life now" way. And that's the goal, to move through your day confident, concealed, and in control, without a single awkward adjustment. Here's the most important truth nobody likes to talk about. Carrying a gun means choosing not to use it, over and over again. Everyday carry isn't about being ready to fire, it's about being ready not to. Because when you carry, you're held to a higher standard. By the law, by the public, and by your own ethics. A parking lot argument isn't a reason. A middle finger isn't a threat. Getting scared isn't the same as being in danger. When you carry, your pride doesn't get to speak first. Your fear doesn't get to vote. Only your judgment does. So what does that look like? It means walking away, even when you're right. It means de-escalating with words instead of ego. It means knowing the law, because you're not just responsible for what happens, but for everything that leads up to it. A clean shoot isn't just about the moment the gun clears the holster. It's about everything you did to avoid that moment. Because even if you're justified, even if you stop a deadly threat, your life still changes forever. You'll deal with police, with lawyers, with questions, doubt, headlines, maybe even jail. So before you draw, ask yourself, is there a way out? Can I move, speak, or comply without bloodshed? Am I stopping a threat or reacting to fear? Because a gun doesn't solve problems, it ends them. And endings by nature are final. That's why some of the most disciplined carriers go their whole lives without ever drawing. Not because they weren't ready, but because they trained to see danger early. They stayed calm when others panicked. They knew the cost of crossing the line, and they did everything in their power to stay behind it. Carrying a handgun doesn't just change how you move through the world. Killing you, it changes the rules you have to live by. Because with one wrong step, one missed detail, one forgotten sign, you're not just a mistake away from embarrassment. Killing you, you're a mistake away from becoming a criminal. The law isn't always clear. It changes by state, county, even city, where you can carry when you can. Where you can't, what signs count, what counts as brandishing, what counts as justified force. And if you don't know, that ignorance can cost your job, your rights, even your freedom. So here's what every concealed carrier must do. Understand your state laws and the laws of any state you travel through. Some states honor your permit, others don't. Cross a line and your legal status vanishes. No prohibited locations. Government buildings, schools, bars, hospitals, private businesses with signs, each comes with its own rules. And yes, even a simple "no firearm" sticker on a door can mean jail time in some places. Stay up to date. Laws change every year, and saying, "I didn't know," won't help when you're in handcuffs. Understand use of force laws. When can you legally draw? When can you shoot? What if someone is unarmed? You need to know before it happens, because you won't have time to look it up in the moment. Also, never carry under the influence. Alcohol, drugs, even prescription meds that alter your judgment. If something happens while you're impaired, you're toast. So train your brain as much as your hand, because carrying isn't just a right, it's a responsibility. And the difference between self-defense and a felony, it's usually measured in inches, seconds, or understanding. By now, you've learned the mechanics, the gear, the mindset, the laws. But here's what no one can teach you, what it feels like to carry every single day. Not the physical weight, the other weight, the one that sits quietly between your ribs and your gut. The awareness that if something terrible happens, you are the response. No one's coming. No one else saw it. No one else can stop it. Just you. That's the burden and the honor of concealed carry. It doesn't feel heroic. It feels quiet, deliberate, sometimes isolating. You'll catch yourself noticing things no one else sees. You'll say less, avoid confrontation, choose the long way around a situation because you know what's at stake. Carrying changes your posture, not your shoulders, but your character. It asks, can you stay calm while others panic? Can you act without ego? Can you accept that every decision you make, every single day, is shaping the person you'll be when it matters most? And the people who do it right, you'll never notice them. They're the ones who sit near exits, who scan the room without being obvious, who walk away from trouble, not toward it. Because they know the real power of carrying a gun isn't in using it, it's in knowing when not to. So now the choice is yours. Not just to carry a tool, but to carry the responsibility that comes with it. To train, to think, to act with restraint and precision. And one day, if that day ever comes, to stand between danger and the people who need you. Not because you want to, but because you're ready. The day you started carrying, you thought it was about the tool, the steel, the caliber, the holster. But if you've made it this far, you've probably realized the truth. It was never just about the gun. You're carrying something bigger now. You carry the discipline to stay calm when others escalate, the wisdom to walk away when pride begs you to stay, the weight of every choice you might make on someone else's worst day. You carry the lessons from the range, the hours of dry fire practice, the drills, the near misses, the what ifs. But most of all, you carry the lives that your judgment might one day protect. That woman across the gas station parking lot, that kid in the aisle at the grocery store, the stranger who never even knew they were in danger. Because you spotted it first and stopped it before it began. You may never draw your firearm, that's the goal. But you will draw something else, a line between fear and panic, between reaction and control, between who you were before and who you've chosen to be now. This life isn't about being a hero. It's about being ready to act with clarity when no one else can. It's about making decisions today that make someone else's tomorrow possible. So when you walk out the door, handgun on your side, mindset in place, remember, You're not just carrying for yourself. You're carrying for every moment that still has a chance to end without violence. And in a world full of noise, ego, and recklessness, you chose to carry something else: responsibility. And that's what makes you dangerous in all the right ways.